Good morning students, welcome to today's lesson teaching learning resources and activities. This is a well known lesson to you all. I hope you are ready with your notebook and pen to jot down some of the things that interest you to remember. So, this lesson teaching learning resources and activities is divided into two different parts. One is teaching learning resources, teaching learning activities. Teaching learning activities further divided into activities inside the classroom, activities outside the classroom. So, teaching learning resources and activities, just like just now I said, it is a well known lesson to you all. Before we go into the discussion of this lesson, let me ask questions to you. How can a child learn on his own continuously? If you have the answers, you can jot down. What is learning by doing? Why does a learner remembers the most while doing the activity? So, the answers to these questions we will get in this lesson. Language instruction has few components. One is the teacher, the student, the resources, methodology and evaluation. So, teacher before coming to teach in the classroom, she makes use of some of the resources that helps the students to learn forever. Students also make use of some of the resources to complete their tasks. In this manner, the resources that help the teacher and the students to complete their tasks is known as teaching learning resources. So, for example, can we imagine a teacher without the textbook? A language teacher always uses the textbook. So, the textbook of state syllabus, the textbook of ICSE, the textbook of central syllabus, all these textbooks teacher makes use of. In the sense, these are the resources teacher makes use to make her teaching very interesting. So, the teaching learning resources are classified into audio aids, visual aids and AV aids. So, let us see. Just now I told you that it is a well known lesson to you all. Let us go to the visual aids. What comes to your mind when you talk about visual aids? Visual aids, let us all go to the classroom situation. In the classroom, what do you see? A teacher is standing and she is holding a textbook. Okay, so many lessons are there in the textbook. It is a visual aid. Visual aids are nothing but they are the aids. They are displayed in the classroom for students to observe, see and learn. So, what things come under visual aids? Charts. Charts, different categories of charts are there, a teacher can make use of. Then different kinds of boards, black boards are there, white boards are there and flannel board is there. You know flannel board, how do we make a flannel board? By using a flannel cloth we make a flannel board. So, some of the schools have the white boards, some of the schools have the black boards and these are the visual aids teacher always makes use of. Then you have the flashcard. Flashcards are always used to tell the students about particular words and other vocabulary words, active words, passive words. Model. A model is a miniature representation of something. So, all by using all these things, teacher can make her teaching lively in the classroom. Slide projector is also there. Transparency is a we get transparency in the shop, which is A4 size, in it is a see-through thing, and on one side teacher can write the portion whatever she is willing to write, and then she can place it on the slide projector. With that, it is visible to all the students. So, in this manner teacher can make use of the charts, pictures, flashcards, blackboards, textbooks, transparencies and different kinds of models to make her teaching interesting to the students. Have you ever seen a classroom, or why students do not run to school? Because something is disturbing, something they are not finding it very interesting. So, that is why, to make the students run to the classroom and to make the students come to the classroom forever, these AV aids have been designed, and they should be used appropriately in the classroom. Before designing any AV aid or visual aid or audio aid, a teacher has to evaluate it properly, and then she should make use of it in the classroom. Then you have the audio aids. Audio aids well known to all of us. So, on this screen you can see the radio, tape recorder, gramophone, language laboratory, audio CDs, lingua phone. How does a radio work? Radio works with the help of electromagnetic waves. So, from a radio studio, educational lesson can be transmitted. A wireless education lesson can be transmitted through radio, and then the children are made to listen to the radio lesson. Actually, instead of saying radio, it is good if we say as educational radio. Okay. So, during the class hours, some of the radio lessons are broadcasted, and in that particular stipulated time, the teacher can bring the radio and she can keep in the class, and she can operate the radio. So, as a result of this, what happens? The children will learn the lesson by listening to the radio, by listening to an expert. Okay. So, there is an activity for a teacher before making the radio lesson to happen. What is that means? She has to announce in the classroom about the radio lesson, and also about the topic and the things that are going to be mentioned in the lesson. So, after the completion of the lesson, a teacher can ask questions and they can answer. So, that way a teacher can make use of audio aid in the classroom. Then you have the tape recorder. The functioning of the tape recorder is also as same as expert's voice can be recorded on a tape, and then it can be displayed in the classroom. Again and again what happens, the teacher can make use of the tape recorder. Now, if you look at the syllabus of the state, discourse oriented pedagogy has been introduced. So, in discourse oriented pedagogy, students need to do lot of language work. They have whole class activity, they have group activity, they have individual activity. So, to complete all these things, they need to listen to language again and again. There is a big gap between the classroom situation, the school situation and the world, the real world. So, to bridge the gap, these audio aids, visual aids and audio visual aids and other resources have been recommended. So, then come to gramophone. It is also nowadays nobody is using gramophone. Lingua phone is a practice. It is a practice giving technique. With the help of lingua phone, people will get the practice in English language. Audio CDs are also there. Then language laboratory is well known to all of us. It is a lab of the language. like a special room is allocated as language laboratory, where participants sit individually, independently on one particular computer. Headset is given, separate software is given, and they sit and they practice English language. Because if you look at the English language is expansive, means a larger space, it requires a larger space, it is large. Okay, then it is also fluid in the sense it moves smoothly, it flows very easily, it is dynamic, likely to change. So to accommodate such things, so language laboratory I feel is the best place for a learner to learn English language and master his spoken English and other language skills like listening, writing and reading. In all these things, the role of the teacher is very important. Teacher can motivate the students before sending them to all these areas of learning. Then comes the audio visual aids. AV aids are well known to all of us. So in AV aids, the first thing that comes, though I have not mentioned here, is smartphone. So educational television, instead of saying television, let us say educational television. If you on the television nowadays, what happens? You get CSAT and Nipuna 24/7. All the time you can, a child can sit, a student can sit and learn and learn. Okay, so then computer is also there with the help of internet. One can listen to language, one can master the language skills. And VCD player and vicarious VCD player is also there. VCD player, with the help of VCD player, language is developed. Multimedia and LCD projector, virtual classroom, film projector. With the help of the film projector, films and other language items are shown. So teacher should bridge the gap. I mean, like, teacher should tell the students to particular watch the particular TV program, computer program and other programs. Above all, there is one more aid that comes to our mind, that is smartphone. I mentioned at the beginning itself, with the help of smartphone, teacher can show to the students about everything. Say some students have doubt about the recent coronavirus cases. There was a confusion in the classroom. The number is not, I mean, like, it is there is a difference of opinion. So at that time, teacher can on her smartphone and she can go to any particular newspaper and she can show to the students that the number of cases recorded yesterday so and so. So and also the smartphone is useful to listen to the pronunciation. Dictionary.com is there with the internet. Time and again they can listen. For example, psychology is there. Some of the students, they may not agree. So at that time, teacher can open her smartphone and make the pronunciation clear to the students. Inside the classroom, just now I told you that our lesson teaching learning resources is divided into two different parts. One is teaching learning resources, the second one is teaching learning activities. Teaching learning activities are further divided into inside the classroom activities. Inside the classroom activities, there are certain acts like creating situations, that is known as situationalization. Situationalization is a way of creating situations in the classroom. Just now I told you English language is expansive, dynamic and fluid. So while introducing a lesson or introducing a story, a teacher creates some situations to introduce new word or active word or passive word. So, when can a teacher, how can a teacher use a situation? Teacher can use a situation by showing a picture or by creating a situation. The students participate. Teaching is not one way activity, it is a two-way activity. So, learners also participate in this situationalization. So, in situationalization, three process given. One is presentation, practice and production. In presentation, teacher makes some gestures, teacher uses some pictures, teacher uses some charts and create the situation. Students are supposed to answer and elicit, and by eliciting the teacher will write the vocabulary word on the blackboard and makes use also writes the which part of speech it belongs to, and also writes the meaningful sentence. So, after the elicitation, the students are given the practice and then they are made to produce the learnt items in new and unknown situations. Okay. So, situationalization, with the help of situationalization, what happens? Situationalization helps the children learn good vocabulary. Okay. So, dramatization is nothing but the word drama means to act or to perform in front of a audience. So, dramatization in teaching learning means performing sequences after sequences or events or doing some actions and finally leading to a climax. This is a dramatization is derived from the word drama. So, dramatization has some advantages. With the help of dramatization, teacher can make the events real, and if students are made to do any kind of drama in the classroom, the students will learn by enacting. So, next comes the role play. Role plays are also there. Teacher can in role play, what happens, it is a way of choosing some responsibilities, choosing some what you call some actions, like teacher students when they are in the LKG and UKG, they like the role of a teacher, they like the role of a parent. Same thing in the role play, a students take the roles and they enact in the classroom. Say for example, role of a father, role of a mother, role of a teacher, and while doing this, the student will learn the responsibility of different roles when he grow up. Language games, it needs no introduction, it is self explanatory. Language games, in every newspaper you will find language game, crossword is there, and in all the textbooks of state syllabus, language games are there. There are puzzles, there are different kinds of language grids are there, and as an after the lesson completes, the children are made to complete these language games. The language games also help the children to develop vocabulary, active vocabulary, passive vocabulary, and active vocabulary and passive vocabulary helps the children to speak well in the classroom, write their stories well, attempt their sudden tests, sudden slip tests, and participate in the whole class activity, group activity and individual activity. Soliloquy is a literary device, part of drama, and the word soliloquy means self talk. means choosing particular character and bringing out the innermost feelings is known as soliloquy. So with the help of soliloquy is a literary device, like teacher can make use in the classroom. Actually there are certain limitation to these things. Dramatization has limitation. All the teachers cannot perform dramatization, so a teacher carefully should choose some role from the text and then she has to enact in the classroom. Time and again educationalists try to solve the problem of the learners, saying that learning is not permanent. Whatever they are learning, they are forgetting. So how to make them learn appropriately and forever is a big question to all the educationalists and also to the psychologists. So to solve these problems, they came out with all these resources. Okay, the next inside the classroom activity is simulation. Simulation is also a skill based activity. Remember driving is a skill, active skill, and speaking is also an active skill. And so with the help of simulation the students are made to learn the spoken English and other speech and other language related activities. So the next one is origami. Origami is nothing but it is paper folding. Do you remember Rabindranath Tagore's poem, Day by day I float my paper boats? So the paper boats teacher can make in the classroom and also help the children to make paper boats and other decorative items needed for their to be used as a teaching learning material. So like this, with the help of origami is nothing but the teacher is bringing the art into the classroom. Students get encouraged and they also make some of the shapes they have interest in and they bring into the classroom and they give to the teacher. She can use it in the classroom.